Welcome to the Profit Optimizer Pro's dashboard, the command center of your financial performance. This dashboard is built around three powerful modules, each one stacking on top of the last to give you a complete picture of where your business stands financially and exactly what you need to do to get where you want to go. Let's walk through each module one by one. The first module is your break-even. This is the most fundamental question in business. What do you have to generate in revenue just to pay your bills? Not profit, not growth, just the number you have to hit to keep the lights on. Profit Optimizer Pro calculates this automatically. Here's how it works. Their current overhead is $228,445. You take that number and divide it by your current gross profit margin of 47.4%. And that gives us your required sales to break even, which in this case is $482,399. When you click the More Details drop-down, you can see exactly what the module is calculating. The required break-even is $482,399. Your actual sales are $614,487. That means this client is currently above break-even by $132,088, which is great news, but as you'll see in the next two modules, there's more to the story. Each module also shows you required sales versus your target, so you always know not just where you are, but how far you need to go, year-to-date versus full-year forecast. In addition to the year-to-date calculation, each module also projects a full-year forecast, a what-if scenario that shows you what the numbers look like for the entire year based on your operating budget. For break-even, the yearly operating budget is $800,000. Divide that by the target gross profit margin of 27%, and the required sales to break even for the full year comes to $2,962,962. That's their annual break-even target. The second module is debt service, and this is where most business owners have a major blind spot. Most clients don't run their own depreciation schedule. They know they have loan payments, equipment financing, and other debt obligations, but they rarely connect those numbers to the revenue their business needs to generate in order to cover them. This module changes that. You simply enter the yearly debt service amount as well as any applicable taxes, and Profit Optimizer Pro will show you exactly what revenue you need to generate, not just to break even, but to cover your debt service on top of it. In the More Details drop-down, you can see this client has an annual debt service of $420,000. Here's the calculation. Take the current overhead of $228,445, add the year-to-date debt service of $175,000, and divide that total by the current gross profit margin of 47.4%. That gives us a required year-to-date sales figure of $851,938. Now subtract the actual sales of $614,487 from that required number, and you can see this client is currently $237,450 below what they need to be generating in order to service their debt. That's not a number you want to discover at the end of the year. That's a number you need to see right now so you can take action. Full-year debt service forecast. The full-year forecast for the debt service module takes the yearly operating budget of $800,000, adds the yearly debt service of $420,000, and divides that combined total by the target gross profit of 27%. The result: this client needs to generate $4,518,518 for the year in order to cover both their overhead and their full debt obligation. That's the real number they need to be building their sales strategy around. The third and final module is the profit plan target. And this is where we shift from survival mode to intentional growth. Here's the truth. Most business owners don't plan for profit. They hope for it. They work hard, they pay their bills, they service their debt, and then they look at what's left over and call it profit. Profit Optimizer Pro flips that model. This module requires you to plan for profit, to set a target, and then calculate exactly what sales you need to hit in order to achieve it. All you do is click and enter your desired profit plan target amount, and the module auto-calculates everything for you. In the More Details drop-down, you can enter the profit target. Here's how the calculation works. Take the current overhead of $228,445, add the year-to-date debt service of $175,000, and add the year-to-date profit plan target amount of $83,333. Divide that total by the current gross profit margin of 47.4%, and you get the required sales to hit all three goals simultaneously. In this example, the client needed to be at $1,027,910 in year-to-date sales in order to cover their break-even requirements, service their debt, and generate a profit of $83,333. Their actual sales were $614,487. That means they are $413,422 below where they needed to be to achieve their profit goal. That number right there is the conversation starter every business owner needs to have with their advisor, not at year end right now. Full year profit plan. Target forecast. The full year forecast for this module takes the yearly operating budget of $800,000, adds the yearly debt service of $420,000, adds the profit plan target of $200,000, and divides the entire total by the target gross profit margin of 27%. The results to cover overhead, pay all debt, and generate $200,000 of profit. This client needs to produce $5,259,259 in sales for the year. That is the number that should be driving every sales conversation, every pricing decision, and every operational choice this business makes. What makes this dashboard so powerful is the way the three modules stack. Break-even tells you the floor, the minimum you need to survive. Debt service raises the floor because your debt doesn't care how your month went. Profit plan. Target raises it one more time. Because profit isn't a byproduct of working hard, it's the result of planning with intention. And at every level, Profit Optimizer Pro is showing you the required sales, the actual sales, and exactly where the gap is in real time. That's the dashboard. Let's keep going.